Do you feel that? That specific heaviness in your chest when you look at old photos? It's a weird mix of happiness and hurt. Maybe you're thinking about the smell of a Blockbuster video store on a Friday night, or the sound of a dial-up modem connecting you to a world that felt manageable, or just the feeling of being unreachable. No notifications, no doom scrolling, just you, your bike, and the sunset. It feels like the sun used to shine brighter back then, doesn't it? Like the music had more soul, like life was simpler. But here's the thing about that feeling. It's a trick. What if I told you that golden age never actually existed? That your brain isn't a history book. It's a biased movie editor that's lying to you. You aren't missing the past. You're trapped in it. Psychologists actually have a name for this glitch. It's called Rosy Retrospection. See, we tend to think of our memory like a security camera, recording everything exactly as it happened, storing it on a hard drive to play back later. But that's not how it works. Your brain isn't a camera. Your brain is an overworked video editor. And it's a biased one. It takes the raw footage of your life and aggressively deletes the boring parts. It cuts out the waiting in line. It scrubs the hours of boredom. It deletes the mild physical discomfort. Let's go back to that video rental store memory. Your brain kept the highlight reel, the excitement of picking the movie, the smell of popcorn, the anticipation. But it deleted the 20 minutes you spent arguing with your siblings. It deleted the disappointment when the only copy of the new release was already rented out. It deleted the tracking lines on the screen and the headache you got from the CRT fuzz. You're comparing a movie trailer to raw documentary footage. Of course, the trailer looks better. It was designed to look better. But if we actually rewind the tape and look at the raw footage, things get a lot less romantic and a lot more uncomfortable. Let's look at the texture of that reality. Not the Instagram filter version, but the grit. First off, the world was physically grosser. Do you remember the smell? Everything smelled like stale cigarettes. Restaurants, bowling alleys, even airplanes. The non-smoking section was just a row of seats without ashtrays, but the air was the same gray soup. And the boredom. I'm not talking about the boredom you feel now when you scroll past a TikTok you don't like. I'm talking about visceral, painful boredom. Waiting for your mom at the bank for 45 minutes with nothing to do but stare at the carpet patterns? No phone, no podcast, just you and your own thoughts. And let's talk about connection. We romanticize not having smartphones, but we forget the sheer anxiety of the analog world. Getting lost wasn't a quirky adventure, it was terrifying. You didn't have GPS, you had a gas station map and a prayer. And dating, you had to call a house phone, public humiliation. Here's the hard pill to swallow. You don't actually miss the 1990s, you miss being 10 years old. You miss having zero bills. You miss having someone else cook your dinner. You miss the feeling that your biggest problem was finishing a level in Mario. We've confused the time period with the stage of life. The world wasn't better. You just had a shield protecting you from how hard it was. But there is another reason why you keep looking in the rearview mirror. It's not just that you miss being a kid. It's that the present moment is kind of a nightmare. Biologically, your brain is wired with something called the negativity bias. It treats the now as a threat environment. Right now is where the bills are due. Right now is where the anxiety lives. Right now is where you don't know the ending of the story. The future is terrifying because it's unwritten. Anything could happen. The past, however, the past is safe. Why? Because you survived it. Even the bad stuff, the heartbreak in high school, the embarrassing moments, the struggles, they feel comfortable now because you know how they end. The uncertainty is gone. It's a closed book. So when the modern world gets too loud, when the news cycle feels like a punch to the gut, your brain hits the panic button. Nostalgia isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's a defense mechanism. It's a bunker. You aren't remembering the 90s because you want to be there. You're remembering them because you want to hide from here. It's an emotional painkiller. And like any painkiller, it works great in small doses, but it gets dangerous if you stay on it too long. And that is where the trap snaps shut. When you convince yourself that the golden age is behind you, you stop trying to build anything good in front of you. Look at our culture right now. We are obsessed with recycling. Remakes, reboots, remastered editions. We are terrified of the new, so we just keep buying the same childhood memory over and over again with better graphics. We're eating comfort food for every meal and wondering why we feel sick. This is the danger of the nostalgia trap. It creates apathy. If you believe the world has gone to hell and the best days are gone, why bother fixing anything? Why bother inventing? Why bother trying? You become a tourist in your own timeline. You're physically here today, but your mind is renting an apartment in 1998. Nostalgia is a drug. A little bit creates art. A little bit reminds you of who you are. But if you stay on the drip, you turn into a zombie. A zombie who hates the modern world simply because it isn't the past. You can't drive a car by staring in the rearview mirror. If you do that, you're gonna crash. And frankly, I think a lot of us have been staring in the mirror for too long. So what's the solution? Do we burn the photo albums? Do we pretend the past wasn't awesome? No, that's not the point. The point is to appreciate the past for what it is, a beautiful, edited story. Enjoy the movie, just don't try to live inside the screen. And here is your chill pill for the night. The good old days are happening right now. 20 years from now, you are going to look back at today. You're going to miss this apartment. You're going to miss the friends you have right now. You're going to miss the fact that your knees didn't hurt yet. Strange to think about, right? You are currently living through the good old days of your future self. So instead of mourning a time that's gone, try to notice the things you'll miss later. Capture the raw footage of now, because one day, this will be the nostalgia you're chasing. If you want to understand your brain a little better, stick around. We decode the human operating system here every week. Subscribe if you want to keep it chill. I'm out. See ya.